Hello again, everyone. Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, here at Scares That Care Charity Weekend 7 in Williamsburg, Virginia. Things are rolling along quite nicely here on Friday, the opening night of the convention. I am sitting here with the one and only Castle Freak himself, Jonathan Fuller.
Yeah, right there.
Boom.
That was me about 30 years ago.
Jonathan, how are you?
Doing great.
Good.
It's been a fun day, and
Yeah?
I'm looking forward to a real fun weekend. I just love watching the enthusiasm of all the people that are coming around and the effort putting into their costumes.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can really tell. They kept saying over the internet, Joe kept saying, everybody kept talking about the family feeling about this thing, and it's so very true. You know, it's it's very, very, very true. People seem to be here for that have known each other for a while, that are behind the whole program and what they do, which I think is amazing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like we were chatting just before we went on camera. I've been doing work for Scares That Care for quite a while, and I was so glad we were able to bring the convention back this year. You know, I think it's been a tough couple of years for everybody.
It's been a bizarre.
That almost seems like dumb to say that now. Like of course it's been a tough couple of years.
Yeah, but it's almost surreal in a lot of ways. It's like this the year leading up to it, and then the shutdown and this blur.
Yeah.
For a time that just seems unreal.
Right.
You know, and
right.
then now we're getting back to it, and unfortunately it's looking like we might be getting back to it.
Yeah, you know what? I never thought that this would be something that I'd be living through in my lifetime.
Nah.
You know, as I mentioned, my daughter's 16. She's helping me this weekend. Mm-hmm. Something, she spent a year remote learning. In school,
it's like that. It's like that Stephen King, The Stand,
right?
Almost, or
right.
good, a few steps away from it at least, All
right. Well, on to more fun things. Yes. So, Castle Freak, right?
Right.
I have always enjoyed this movie. Does it ever surprise you that people come out, like, for a relatively obscure horror movie at the time, that people now come out to meet you and talk to you about this movie?
Yes, it does. I mean, we're talking a film that was done about 30 years ago.
Right.
To really date myself. And it surprises me and it delights me that people appreciated the work that we put into this thing. Joe Bob Briggs was here like 2 years ago and has really raved about it, given it a little bit of a kick, that people are coming back to it. So people have mentioned that coming up to me. So, and it's also very important because Stuart Gordon, the director of that, and The Pit and the Pendulum passed this year.
Yeah.
And so I think he'd be really pleased about that there's rekindled interest in it.
I couldn't agree more. What was it like getting into that makeup every day? I can't even imagine.
It was really tough. I mean, I was sitting basically in a barber chair, and I would have to sort of zen out and relax because it was the piece that's like the chest piece was like a wetsuit that I put on. So that's easy.
Yeah.
But to make me look even bonier, they put 2 shoulder prosthetics on. And then the face was like a cowl that went on, and then they had a face piece that they stuck on, and false teeth that they put on, and fingers that they put on the hands, and a few things to my legs too. So it was a long, involved process. But Stuart knew that I was a fan of horror, and one of the first reasons I got into acting at all was because I used to love watching Lon Chaney Sr. pictures. Before VHS even, I had 2 8mm film versions of the silent Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, very cool. Wow.
And Phantom of the Opera. So I loved and watched Lon Chaney over and over and over, and I just loved the idea of that man of 1,000 faces that could do that total physical transformation. And Stuart gave me the chance to do it, so it was great.
I mean, it seems grueling, but fun at the same time, in the sense that now you get to play this otherworldly monster.
And we were shooting it in a castle on top of it, so eating great Italian food. Although that Stuart kept saying, "Not, don't eat much. You're thin. You're a skeleton." Right, Stu. Whatever.
So was obviously Castle Freak, Pit and the Pendulum, both horror films. Is horror something you had always been drawn to? That you wanted to be a part of?
I love the idea of being able to do horror films. I thought this is like a real lesson of like, be careful what you wish for, boys and girls. It actually came through.
Sure.
But I veered off into other. I'll do anything acting wise. I did a big career on stage, and 5 years ago was lucky enough to be invited over to the Globe Theatre in London and worked with 21 other international actors on what that playing in the Elizabethan style in that space was like. So I love the theater and film, and they're both very different. They're the same in a lot of ways. You call on the same skills, but they're very different to do. You shoot film out of sequence, and as soon as the director says cut, it's out of your hands.
Right.
Right. Whereas on stage, you get to do it again and again, but it disappears every night. For better or for worse, film stays around.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because my daughter, who's helping me, does musical theater. And she also has been on set with me on indie films.
Okay.
And we talk about the difference between that. I am always more impressed by theater people because you have to keep going. If you make a mistake, there's nothing you can do. You got to keep right on rolling.
And roll around it somehow.
You can't yell cut. Oh, we'll do it again.
Right. Only under the worst of circumstances do you have to say, I got to stop.
Sure.
But no, it's that's a skill that it keeps you on your toes, really in the moment.
Yeah.
Really thinking and being honest and truthful and all that kind of stuff. And you're able to, if you're worth your salt as an actor, you can draw from that. So when it's action, you know where you are in the script, in the arc of the story. I'm here, so this is what happens in this scene. And you start and then you finish that, but you're ready to go.
Yeah.
In the best of ways.
Yeah. Listen, don't be afraid to tell Felissa Rose out there to be quiet. We're doing an interview over here, huh? I mean, listen. I'm totally messing. I'm like, hey,
yo, come on. Step in, dear.
Oh, we just got photobombed, but that's okay.
That's okay.
All right, listen.
One of the nicest photobombs I've ever had.
There you go. For the record, I'm going to edit out everything but that. So,
really. Welcome to Scares That Care.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
So, Jonathan, one last question.
Sure.
What are you working on these days? What are you still acting? What are you doing?
Pan over here, Olivia. Just on Amazon Prime right now, there's a film called Blackstock Boneyard. It's kind of like Candyman, although I play a human being and a victim in this one. And I've got another film that I did about 2 years ago before the pandemic hit that's just waiting to come out.
Okay.
Small role in that.
Okay.
Called Tyson's Run, produced by Tyler Perry. So
very cool.
Kind of means it's probably going to get released at some point. But now the industry is just starting to pick up.
Right.
Because I'm based in Alabama, of all places now, because I remarried. But Atlanta is like a real hub. So it's weird. I feel like I'm living the life of an LA actor in Birmingham, Alabama, which is totally bizarre.
Hey, listen.
But if it works.
Right. And busy is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. Jonathan, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. It was, trust me, it was my pleasure.
And next year, come to Scares That Care. It's a great, great thing.
Absolutely. Jonathan Fuller, the Castle Freak himself, everybody, here at Scares That Care Charity Weekend in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.